All right, everyone, welcome to Something in the Wild. Can't believe it's already episode 30. That's crazy. Today, I have a couple things that I want to cover first before I get into what I'm going to be talking about today. Number one, we got a new website. Go check it out, somethinginthewild.com. It is revamped, looks great, I think, personally. It's got a bunch of cool features, blog, all that sort of stuff, so go check that out. Second, I have an announcement to make. I actually have two bows with me today that I'm going to be going over. And I'm going to be going over my hunting bow, my hunting setup, and then I'm going to be going over why I have this second bow. So stay tuned for that information. That's going to be at the end of the video. But first things first is I want to talk to you guys about my setup that I'm going to be running this year for bow season. So as you guys probably know, I'm going out to Colorado here this September for the muzzleloader season for elk. Not the bow season, but they kind of coincide with one another. So I figured, while everyone's preparing for elk season, preparing for bow season during the rut this September, people are tuning up their bows, tuning up their arrows. And you guys also loved, for some reason, my fletching and arrow videos. So I figured why not stick with the trend, right? So my bow for the 2024 season is a Hoyt Axius Alpha, 29-inch axle to axle. I believe this bow came out in 2020. It was Hoyt's kind of flagship thing back in 2020, so it's pretty old. A lot of people are running the new bows, and more power to you guys. But I am going to stick with this for this season because I love it. Shoots straight. It's an aluminum frame. It's a little bit heavier, than maybe a Lift or a Phase 4 or any of the new Hoyts or the new bows. But, it gets the job done, shoots fast. I have it at a 70-pound draw weight with gas strings. So I didn't really skimp out on it too much. I got the gas strings, so they last a little bit longer. These ones are fraying a little bit, so this will probably be the last season for them, depending on, how much wear and tear they get. But those are the strings that I'm running, is the gas. Next, I will talk about my rest here. So for my rest, I have the quad dropaway rest. Now, I guess I'll probably talk a little bit about what I plan on upgrading with this bow, as well as, what I plan on keeping the same, in the coming years and so forth, and what I've been looking into recently, just as little minor upgrades, minor tweaks that I could possibly make before the season. But as for right now, for this season, this is all set up. Maybe next season I'll make these adjustments. I'm not sure. But I do have the quad drop-away rest. Now, the one thing that I do not like about this, I'll start with the do not likes and then the pros. The cons first, then the pros. What I do not like about this is whenever you're adjusting it, it's really, really hard to get those fine-tune adjustments whenever you're just off a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do to upgrade this is I am going to get the micro adjuster next time, maybe next season, I'm not sure. But this does the job for right now. So that is my rest, the quad drop away. And another gripe that I have, and this isn't really a fault of the rest, but more the bow, is I have this bar right here on the riser, and it blocks where I can get in to adjust this. So to adjust it from side to side, I have to take the whole thing off, adjust it a little bit, then put the whole thing back on. It's really just a pain. So that is what I'm going to be looking into next for a purchase. All right. Now, going into the stabilizer. So I have a Beestinger micro hex stabilizer. I don't know how many ounces I got in the end of this. I kind of just bought this with the bow, and I haven't changed it because I haven't really noticed a difference whenever I do change it. I've tried to add more weight to it, tried to take weight off of it, and I honestly like the way it is whenever I bought it. So just kept it how it is, and it's been very good. Now, the one thing I'd say I will want to adjust on this at some point is to get a back bar stabilizer, but I've been looking at those pieces that you add to the bow to add that back bar, and man, they're so freaking expensive for like a little tiny piece of metal. It's like 100, 150, 200 bucks. And I'm just like, do I really need it? Like, is it really going to make that much of a difference? And I decided, no, it's not going to make that much of a difference. Now, if you're really into archery and that's like kind of your thing, I can absolutely 100% understand you getting a back stabilizer, might help out a little bit or whatever, but I've never shot with one. I don't know how much it's going to affect me, so I am just rolling with the front stabilizer, and that's it. Also makes the bow a little bit lighter because it is a very heavy bow, made of aluminum. It's got a lot of weight to it, so keeping it as light as possible is good for me. But I like it nonetheless, and yeah, so that's kind of my stabilizer setup. Now, for my sight, I have the Hogg Father. Yeah, just the Hogg Father. It's the super long one that that Spot Hogg makes. It's a dual pin, so 2-pin sight. And it's got the 0.1 diameter pins, so the smallest diameter that they offer, because I bought that specifically for the Total Archery Challenge, but I really do like it because your sight picture, there's nothing obstructing your sight picture. You got these little teeny tiny pins, and the one negative downside I would say to having the small pins is that whenever it gets dark, it gets a little bit harder to see those. But it's not too bad. It's kind of a give and take. You can shoot out further, specifically for 3D shoots and stuff like that. It makes it easier to see, but whenever you're actually hunting, it makes it a little bit more difficult to see. Now, they do make little lights that can screw into here and light those pins up more for you in low light situations. Some states it's legal, some states it isn't. Make sure you check your regulations before you make any sort of adjustment like that. But yeah, that's my sight. I love this thing. And the 2 pins work very nice because, whenever you're hunting, specifically in Pennsylvania, whitetail are going to be pretty close. I like to stay within 30 yards. Absolute maximum for me, 35. And even then, it's like got to be perfect. That deer's got to have no idea that I'm there. So, I prefer to be under 30, and with the dual pin sight, I can set my top pin to 20 yards, and my bottom pin will reach all the way out to 33. So as long as I keep the deer in between those two, if it's beyond 20, and that just comes from practice, just understanding where in that pin you're going to be aiming, really goes a long way, but I do like the 2-pin a lot. Definitely helps me out, and for target shooting, it's absolutely phenomenal. It's great. Absolutely no complaints there. So that is my bow here for the 2024 archery season. Now leave in the comments below if you guys are going elk hunting or whatever this year. I would love to hear your setups, how old your bow is, because I know a lot of people really like the newer bows. They shoot faster, more accurate, quieter, more consistent. So I would like to hear what you guys have to say about switching year to year versus keeping a bow for, say, 4-5 years and then upgrading, what the differences are. Okay, great. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about was my release. And this is kind of a topic for me that might be different compared to a lot of other people. A lot of people nowadays are using the thumb releases, some people even using the hinge releases. I've tried them both, and I'm going to be 100% honest, I do not like them. I do not like the thumb release. I feel like I get target panic really bad with the thumb release. I do not like the hinge release. I get even worse target panic with the hinge release because, you never know whenever it's going to break away. And I've never really had target panic with the trigger. And, knock on wood, knock on wood, I haven't had it yet. I love the trigger release, and I personally think that the Wise Guy from Spot Hogg is the best trigger release that you can buy. It's not too expensive, way cheaper than the button releases or the thumb releases. A little bit more expensive than like a cheaper hinge release, but it's a very, very good option if you've tried the thumb releases and you don't like them, or you have a trigger release and you just want to upgrade. It's very smooth, very good action, easy to slip on the string. The one feature that I like is it will flip up and it'll stay there, so it's not knocking on your knuckles whenever you're walking through the woods. It'll flip up and it'll stay up on your wrist whenever you're just walking around or you're not using it. So really like the Wise Guy trigger release. I also have the Cam Hanes edition, so it's got the boa strap on it. That's also really nice. I don't like how loud it is. If you're making adjustments, it clicks. It clicks, and it's pretty loud. But if you're adjusting it whenever you're at the trailhead or at the truck, it's really not that big of a deal. Just make sure you're not adjusting it whenever there's a big 130, 140-inch deer walking in on you. All right. So that's my bow for this year. I know it's kind of a quick run-through, quick breakdown, but again, absolutely love this thing. Plan on sticking with it for as long as I possibly can because I don't really like change very much. I don't know if you guys could tell. But I like to figure out something that works for me, and I like to stick with it. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. All right. Now, let's get into this beauty right here. So this is a Diamond Edge Pro bow. Diamond Infinite Edge Pro. So this is the first bow that my parents got for me back. Oh crap! When was that? It's been a few years now. But this is the first bow that I got because it's very adjustable. You can adjust it from like 5 pounds to like 70. So it's a very versatile bow, and I've actually been trying to sell this for the longest time, but now I have a use for it. So what you guys can expect here in the future. So this bow is going to serve a very, very cool purpose. So Sammi was really, really interested in learning how to shoot a bow, learning how to hunt, wanting to come out with me and do some hunting and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do with this bow is I'm going to take it to the bow shop with her. We're going to get some new strings put on this thing. We're going to get it adjusted to her draw length, to the draw weight that she wants, that she's comfortable with. And I'm going to teach her how to hunt from start to finish. So from the start of getting a new bow, taking it to the bow shop, getting everything set up, practicing with it, shooting within the backyard, learning how to climb up into a tree stand, using a tree stand, scouting for deer, picking out a good spot, picking out a good tree, going up there, sitting, and hopefully arrowing a deer. I'm super excited, and I'm going to document all this for you guys. So this is going to be a whole video that I'm going to dedicate to showing her how to shoot a deer with a bow. And I said, hey, it might be easier to do with a gun. And she was like, no, I want to do it with a bow first. And I respect the hell out of her for that. So she's going to learn on this bow right here. Could not be more excited. There's a couple things that I need to make, some adjustments. Probably need to get a new peep maybe. Obviously, like I said, strings. Might put a new stabilizer on here, put a new rest, but yeah, this thing, it's very light, be very easy for her to carry around. Draw weight can be whatever she wants it to be. So I could not be more excited for that. And I hope you guys follow along because that'll be a really cool experience for both of us. It's always fun to take out new people hunting, and especially whenever it's your girlfriend. So stay tuned for that. Again, like I said previously, make sure you go check out our new website. It's awesome. from my opinion. I was the one that built it, but it is awesome, I think. And yeah, there's some big things coming, so make sure you stay tuned. Check out the YouTube channel if you want to watch more videos like this about breaking down my gear, talking about my adventures. We post a podcast like this every Tuesday, and then we also post a long-form video every Thursday. So that's, camping, fishing, hiking, exploring, things like that, hunting. That comes out on Thursday, podcast on Tuesday. So go take a look on the YouTube channel. Check all that stuff out, and make sure to keep it wild. Thank you very much, guys.